Okay, looks like we are ready to go. So again, welcome everyone to the Uptown Financial Services webinar. My name is Greg Carroll. I'm the Director of Partnerships and Events for the Uptown Chamber of Commerce. For those who haven't heard, we have recently changed our name. I almost said our old name, but we are thrilled. We are no longer Business Partners, the Chamber for Uptown. We are now officially the Uptown Chamber of Commerce, which is what many people have been calling us anyways for years. So we're really excited about the name change. And I think this might be our first event under the new name. We also have a new address. We are currently officeless at the moment, but we are eagerly awaiting our new office to be ready at 4619 North Broadway, which is on Broadway just north of Wilson. So we expect to move in there January, maybe February at some point. So we'll, post-COVID time, we'll have to have you all over and have an open house of some sort. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, John, who can kind of give us an overview of what's going to happen today.
Thanks, Greg. So this seminar was born out of seeing the need from our business community for financial products that are not necessarily the size of, like small businesses for us mean micro businesses. They're very small and sometimes they only need a little bit of money, or access to capital is a little more difficult because they haven't been open for long enough to show the tax returns and the sales year over year that are required for a lot of the programs and products from banks. But we've got some people here from our partners, CIBC, CNI Group, Huntington Bank, Somercor, and Wintrust. And they've each got a couple of products to share with you that maybe fit your business to a T. So our goals are to hit hospitality, entertainment. We've got minority, women-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, and businesses that are new and have not accrued the history to prove themselves in some of the formats necessary. So with no further ado, we are going to kick it off with CIBC, Hussain Bhanpuri. Hussain, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, can you all hear me? All right, just want to make sure again. Thank you, John. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate the opportunity to present with Uptown Chamber. Greg, you can go ahead to the next slide. So CIBC, we're a full service bank. You know, we do private banking, consumer banking, small business banking. We do SBA loans, but I work with what's called our community development group. And it's a very unique group at the bank. It's a group that's focused on basically working with entrepreneurs, startup entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs who are young in the sense that been in business only for a year or so. Kind of the things that John and Greg have been talking about in the businesses that these guys help. Businesses, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, businesses located in lower moderate income community. That's kind of the focus of our group within the community development group. So we have 3 programs that I'd like to just go over very quickly, among other things as a full-service bank. So the first program is called our Entrepreneur Loan Program. It was essentially created to help startup and early-stage businesses, as I mentioned. We can do lines of credit, you know, because we're a bank, and term loans. We do up to 10,000 for startup and up to 30,000. What this is it allows an entrepreneur who's looking to start their business, or someone who's been in business maybe for about a year and wants some extra, you know, technical assistance. So you're working with either the Uptown Chamber, someone else, and you want to go through, you know, what's called a entrepreneurial training program. So there are several entrepreneurial training programs within just the city of Chicago, as well as the Chicagoland area. One of the main ones is with the city of Chicago itself. I know John and Craig have worked with Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. They offer a training program. So if you take one of these programs and essentially graduate from them, you're eligible as a startup to apply for up to 10,000, and as an early stage up to 30,000. We have a fixed term rate of about 5.99% right now, and pretty competitive. No fees or prepayment penalties. And the other thing is we're somewhat flexible with our credit. So banks in general, they're not always too flexible. We have alternative lenders that are a little more flexible with credit scores. We do have a minimum score, but you can see there, it's as long as you have a FICO score of a 600 or above, we can look at doing an application for either, again, up to 10,000 or up to 20. And it's a really good program because it allows us to work with entrepreneurs who are startups, who are working with, you know, organizations like Uptown Chamber and other entities to get kind of, you know, hone in on either their business plan, not necessarily creating a business plan, but honing in on what their business is, and then creating projections, kind of getting the business management and the technical assistance aspect. So it's a really cool program for that. And I can give more information on more of the training programs that are available. Craig, can you do the next slide? So the next one is called our Easy Path Term Loan and Revolving Line of Credit. So that program is more for existing businesses, and it goes up to 30,000. So the other program I just mentioned, the Entrepreneurial Training Program, is really our one program that's allowed for pure startups. You know, anyone who's been in business, either who hasn't been in business or in business for less than a year. Whereas this, you have to be in business for at least 1 year. Again, we have a term loan at 5.99% and a line of credit that's at prime plus 4. So right now, prime's at 3.25, which is pretty low. And that's where in the line of credit, it's variable, but it's still pretty competitive. And again, these are solely for businesses that are located in lower moderate income neighborhoods. You don't necessarily have to go through a training program, but again, I'll continue to say, and I'm sure my other colleagues on the panel here will continue to say that, you know, having that assistance, that technical assistance aspect and working with an organization like Uptown Chamber or somewhere else, or even your banker is key to kind of helping you get your business up and running and going. So again, this is a program for businesses that have been in business for at least a year. You have to be located in a lower moderate income neighborhood, but it's pretty similar underwriting criteria. Again, we accept businesses that have credit scores of 600 above. And when I talk about credit scores, I'm talking about personal credit scores. And again, other colleagues on this call will also mention that, you know, it's personal credit scores that we look at because you're going to need to personally guarantee the loan. And that's mainly because when we're giving a loan, we're essentially, even though it's for the business, it's to you, the entrepreneur. So that's our Easy Path term loan and revolving line of credit. Can you go to the next one, Greg? So the next one after that is essentially our Community Plus loan. So the Community Plus loan is essentially, so I kind of went through the entrepreneur training, which is for startups and existing. Then there's the Easy Path, which is for existing but businesses located in lower moderate income neighborhoods or neighborhoods that are majority minority neighborhoods. And then the next stage after that, again, is called our Community Plus, which is for businesses, again, businesses who have been in business for at least a year. But this program is more geared towards people who have probably been in business for closer to 2 years. But again, could be as long as it's over a year, and we can see some tax returns. It's for businesses, as you can see on that third point, is gross revenues are below $1 million. So you can be a business that's 50,000 in gross sales, 200,000 gross sales, or $500,000, or even $1 million. And the loan max on this one, whereas the previous ones go up to 30, this one goes up to 100,000. So again, we're targeting and really focusing on those businesses, again, that are still early stage, you know, maybe been in business for a couple of years, may not be eligible for that typical SBA loan, or even with our bank, you know, with typical bank loan. But this allows us to kind of work with a business owner who's been in business for years and wants to get to that next level. So again, you can see the term loans are from 1 to 5 years at 5.75 to 6.75% with no fees. Again, line of credit, it's variable at prime. So the previous line of credit I mentioned were prime plus 4. This is at prime. And again, this is available with minimum scores of 660 or above and a personal guarantee required. So these are, again, focused on businesses. You know, we try to be a little more flexible in our underwriting to help, you know, early stage business kind of get to that next level. Outside of these, we do have several other lending programs, you know, similar to, you know, the other colleagues with Huntington and Wintrust. We do SBA lending as well. But these are the 3 programs that I focus on, and we focus on trying to help really kind of the small businesses that are out there and trying to get to that next level. Can you go to the next slide, Greg? That might be it. Or I was done. Sorry, didn't realize that was my last slide. So those are the 3 loan programs, and that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Hussain. So everybody knows we are recording this, and we will be sharing the recording and the slide decks. The contact information for each individual contact from the different banking partners will be included in the slides. So this is going to be a tool that we share with all the attendees so that you can reach out and make contact after this seminar is done. And there will be a brief, about 10 minutes for question and answer after we've heard from the 5 presenters. Next up, Hunter Beck with CNI Group. Hunter?
Thanks, John. Good morning. My name is Hunter Beck. I'm the loan officer with Chicago Neighborhood Initiatives Microfinance Group, or CNIMFG for short. So we work with a lot of the different banking partners and not-for-profit partners on this group, on this call right now. So we actually have the banks that you have here are really good people to get in touch with. One reason I say that is because we're a not-for-profit CDFI, which stands for Community Development Financial Institution. We are not a depository. So with applying for loans with us, we have the small businesses to continue their relationship with their primary banker. And we oftentimes can help bridge that gap between when you're applying maybe as a startup, or your revenues aren't high enough, or your personal credit score isn't quite where it needs to be to work with your bank. We can help bridge that gap, provide financing so that you can grow into keeping that relationship with your bank and eventually be able to walk into that bank and get a line of credit or a term loan with them. So we really try and encourage strong banking relationships as well as the relationship with us. So that's one way that we're a little bit different. We have quite a few of the same requirements as some of the banks, but we are flexible in a couple different ways. So I'm going to give an overview of just our general lending program, and then I'm going to focus in a little bit on one of the initiatives that we have. We try and be creative and fill in different gaps that we see in the market with our different programs. So with our general lending, we're similar to what Hussain said. We do small business loans from $500 to $100,000. Our terms are usually, we can go up to 72 months, somewhere between 7.75 to 9.75% interest rates. One thing that makes us different is we do not have any minimum credit scores. So what we look for is credit history and credit behaviors. So when we're taking someone into consideration, a lot of times we know small businesses will start their business with credit cards. So you might have high utilization, which is impacting your credit score negatively. So we take that into consideration. And if you're making your monthly payments, but your utilization is high because you're trying to float payroll, we can work with small businesses like that. That does not mean that we have no credit requirements. We do take a look at the history and the reasons why the credit score is the way it is. But we try and get the picture as a whole before making a determination. Credit score can limit how much you can get sometimes, but not necessarily whether you do or don't qualify. So there's no hard cutoffs. Another thing that we're flexible with is we do have flexible collateral requirements. So we can do unsecured loans up to $20,000. Above $20,000, we like to see some form of collateral. We don't have specific ratios that we need to meet. So we take a lot of time to get to know the small business owner and work and see what way would be best for both the business and us moving forward to put the business in the best way to grow. So we work with all different industries, except for not-for-profits, any of the quote sin industries, which would be your liquor stores, gambling, adult content, those pieces. There are questions on whether cannabis is going to be able to fall into that sin industry. We cannot loan to anybody who is doing direct product for cannabis, but if you're in one of the fringe industries of it, we'd be able to speak about that. And then the other one we don't do is investment real estate as well. But I did want to focus on one of the programs. If you could go back to the previous slide, John, for me. So we're a part of a program in partnership with the Chicago Community Trust called Food, Land, and Opportunity. So it's FLOW for short. So this is a product specifically designed to help businesses within the Chicago area food ecosystem, from growers to transporters to end users to manufacturers to anybody within the food industry. This program is designed to help create more sustainable and affordable food products and food options, as well as healthy food options in the Chicagoland area. So if you go to the next slide, we created a product that can go up to $100,000 for established businesses and $50,000 for startups. It is a hybrid loan and line of credit product. So we can go up to 70% term loan, 30% line of credit. And again, the rate varies based on your credit profile. We don't, as I mentioned, we don't have minimum credit score, but your interest rate is determined on your credit score. So this can be used for any of the different industries within, any of the different businesses within the food industry. So if you're transporting local foods, or if you're an urban farmer, or you have a healthy food shop, we'd love to talk to you, see if you can fall into this program. And we're trying to, again, build a more robust network between the different food producers and end users in the city of Chicago. So we can talk a little bit more about that if people have questions about that program. We also do work with SPIF and NOF. We also work with the state of Illinois through the Advantage Illinois program, which is for MBE, WBE, DBE, and veteran-owned businesses. We have contractor lines of credit that we're working with for small and minority contractors. We have quite a few different programs, but I just wanted to highlight the top level few. So our general lending, and then our food land opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you, Hunter. Next up, we've got Huntington Bank, Dick Stark from the Uptown branch. Dick?
Good morning, John. Can you hear me? Wonderful. So one, I just appreciate the opportunity to join this esteemed panel group. Some really good information here. And I think you'll find that all of this is just really focused on the community and specifically about small business and how we can help people achieve their goals. I'm really pleased to announce a program through Huntington National Bank. Huntington is one of the #1 lenders through SBA. So their core business is really small business. And specifically, when you look at the product suite that's offered, it's around businesses that are just starting or trying to get their feet on the ground and move forward. Obviously, with COVID, there's been some impact on a lot of businesses, existing and new. But there's a new program we just introduced in October. And there's different slides for the different groups, but I'm going to give you a highlight on it. You know, this lending program has got a special emphasis on businesses owned by minorities, women, and veterans. We look at these businesses and say these are typically the businesses that have historically been kind of underserved. It's part of our $20 billion community plan. This is about a $25 million commitment from Huntington for these small businesses. And we're looking at it as it's on the ground. It's in the local communities that we serve. So for me, as a business developer and a resource within the Uptown area, it's really for me to make some connections with small businesses that are just starting up and typically are not looked at as favorably as maybe the big corporations or the businesses that have been in business for a while. So how is it different? It's different because it's a direct loan funding. It's got lower credit score requirements. It also offers a free business education through a partnership with Operation Hope. And that's about a $1,500 value. It lets you kind of design a business plan. It kind of gives you an idea of what you need to think about as a business owner, and gives you a partner that helps guide you to making decisions that will help ensure the success of your business. And then the loans are as low as $1,000 up to $150,000, but there's no loan fees. So who's eligible? Again, it's business entities that are at least 51% owned by minorities, women, and veterans. Borrowers can have a very low SBSS score. Translating that to FICO, we're looking at scores as low as 580. It must be a for-profit organization, and U.S. citizenship is required. What's being offered? Loans up from $1,000 up to $150,000. A 10-year term loan, 6 months interest only, competitively priced at prime +2. So prime's at 3.25. So we're looking at rates at about 5.25, and then 85% of that is guaranteed by the SBA. And then just a little bit more commercial time for this free financial education program. This is critical. It's one thing to get products and make things available to clients. It's another thing to partner with folks and really give them an idea of how a business runs. We see a lot of businesses come and go because they haven't anticipated cash flow, or they haven't anticipated really what it takes to make the business run besides, sweat, blood, and tears. So again, a personal coach would be assigned to you. It's a program that allows you to develop a business plan, and then it'll help you get a much better feel for what you need to do. So whether you're relatively new or you're really new, that's really our focus for those groups that we just talked about. Again, the direct benefits to customers are the SBA fee is waived, which is usually 2%. There's no Huntington bank fees. Those are usually $750. There's the free education through Operation Hope. Greg, I don't know if there's another. Yeah, the slides I've sent that you guys can review are basically an overview of what it is. It's got my contact information. It also kind of looks at the different groups that we're targeting. And then in addition to that, one of the other things on the side is Huntington does look for small businesses in offering a checking account, which is just your operating account with a no minimum balance required. And it comes with bells and whistles, such as online banking, debit card, access to a very robust online system. So it not only works for you on a lending side, but it also works with you to provide you a very nice entry-level operating account option without any fees associated with it. So again, I appreciate your time this morning, and I look forward to hearing from folks if they have questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Dick. And as a reminder, you can start putting your questions in the chat function, the chat window, and we can take a look at those, and we'll get back to our presenters at the end en masse to get a little further into things that our audience is wondering about. Next up, Somercor. We've got Kimberly Brisky.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kim Brisky. I am the Managing Director of Communications and Engagement at Somercor. We are a nonprofit lender that's certified by the SBA, similar to sort of what Hunter and the team at CNI does. While we're not a CDFI, we're a CDC. I know all the acronyms are fun, but the key for us is that we both have two really main tracks in our business, which is grant administration, and then the other is servicing SBA 504 loans. You probably know us most because we also administer the Small Business Improvement Fund, or the SPIF grant, as well as the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund. We've been doing the SPIF grant since it started over 21 years ago. And, as somebody that's certified by the SBA, our mission is really to grow businesses and create jobs and just be a resource for small businesses. So I would encourage you of two things. One, of just always checking out what the SBA is up to. They're constantly providing new resources. I know we're all familiar with PPP and EIDL, but there are a lot of other things that the SBA does offer. Additionally, like any other small business, Somercor, we pivoted quite a bit at the start of COVID and really ended up growing our small business resource portfolio. We ended up doing over $10 million in grant administration since the start of the pandemic through city, county, and state grants. So I encourage you also just visit our website, somercor.com, to find out what the latest resources are that maybe we don't necessarily offer directly, but could be a help to your business. Next slide, please. So as we discussed, our main loan product is the SBA 504 loan and refi program. And this is really about purchasing and refinancing expansion of major fixed assets. So this is going to be commercial real estate and heavy equipment. And so some of the really attractive features of this is that you're going to get a lower down payment, up to 90% financing, below market interest rates that are fixed. And right now, the interest rate is 2.55% for 25 years, which is an amazing rate. And then also something that we have found that has been really attractive right now is the refi option. If somebody already owns their commercial real estate or heavy equipment and they purchased it with a conventional loan, there's an option for the refi through the 504 to refinance that equipment, and you actually have the ability to leverage that built up equity and take cash out for working capital expenses. Obviously, at a time like right now, having additional cash flow immediately to address some of those issues, as well as lowering your monthly payments going forward is really attractive. We had a client who was a small business owner in Northern Illinois who actually was a restaurant and had already had a PPP and an EIDL, reached out to us about a refi and ended up lowering their monthly mortgage payments by $1,500 a month, which, you know, for a restaurant, that type of cash flow is so amazing. So I encourage you, if this sounds like you're where you are with your business, to give us a call. Just to kind of get your mind working in terms of the types of businesses that we work with for the 504. Again, it's for profit. Your physical location for the commercial real estate, you have to at least be occupying at least 51% of it, 60% for new construction. And for a small business, the definition is quite wide. As long as you're under 15 million in tangible net worth, you'll be considered a small business. And I would just encourage everybody to be thinking that the pandemic has impacted different industry verticals very differently. For some, you've needed to really ramp up operations, and for others, it's really conserving capital. So if you see here all the different types of businesses from manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, and probably also like fast food franchise, those we've seen a lot of action with in terms of wanting to expand. For the more hospitality, restaurants, retail, you've seen more of a need to conserve. So just consider that the 504 might be a good option either way. Next slide, please. And just as a quick overview, so we as a 504 lender, we actually work in conjunction with a third-party lender who would be like a CIBC, a Wintrust, or a Huntington bank. And so you can see here from the typical loan structures that it could be as little as 10% down for you. And just to continue to kind of get your mind moving in terms of the different types of projects that you might know in Chicago that have taken advantage of the 504. Here are some of our clients. Girl and the Goat is also the Little Diner too. We did both of those. Fulton Grace, which is a real estate company, and then Hopleaf over in Andersonville. So these are all clients of ours that use the 504 for the real estate purchase and then the expansion. Next slide, please. As I mentioned in the beginning, we also do the Small Business Improvement Fund. I think this is what we're most known for. And just a sneak peek, we expect City Council in December to actually take action to pass some additional enhancements to the SPIF program. So I would say keep an eyeball out for, if you don't already get the SPIFgram, which is our monthly newsletter about the SPIF program. Website's down there, somercor.com/SPIF. Sign up for the newsletter and you'll find out when we're going to be hosting webinars about the new program enhancements. So for those of you who may not know, the SPIF grant can be used for the permanent building improvements for your commercial space. And this could be if you own the commercial space or you are renting, you can work with your landlord to apply. This is going to be things like exterior, masonry, also things internally like electrical, HVAC, plumbing, things like that. Currently, the maximum assistance could be $150,000 if you are in industrial, $100K for a commercial, or $50K if it's a multi-tenant commercial property. And the thing to remember about this program is that it's a reimbursable grant. So the funds are provided after the approved project is finished and all expenses are paid. This is actually another reason why I got to give a shout out to all of my banking partners and CNI on this call who even mentioned it specifically. You do need to actually have financing prepared when you're getting ready to apply to bridge the gap. And I think that when you're getting ready to apply for a SPIF grant, it's always important to think, do I have a business plan ready? Do I have financing ready? And am I familiar enough with the bidding and contracting process? We have a ton of technical assistance partners that can make sure that you have all of those pieces together. And I added here at the end one of actually somebody who is an Uptown SPIF project that we did. I actually went there and ate, obviously pre-COVID, in Untitled, which is really great in the Wilson Yard TIF district. And they actually had a location in another area and used the TIF program and spoke very highly of Uptown and all of the programs there that they ended up finding SPIF. These are the relevant SPIF districts right now. And so I would just keep an eye on sort of the next year in terms of what the City of Chicago does with making sure these programs are funded and any changes. So again, if you have any questions, feel free. My contact information is in here, and I appreciate you guys having me today.
Thank you, Kim. And our last presenter is Don Cortelyou with Wintrust Bank. It's the Uptown branch at Sheridan and Lawrence.
Thank you much, John. Thank you, Greg. I'm Don Cortelyou, Wintrust Bank, Vice President, Branch Manager. This location we opened up about 1.5 years ago, roughly, and at this corner, it used to be a pretty dangerous corner back in the day, but we took over the space of the old liquor store and our J.J. Peppers, and boy, this neighborhood is sure changing around a lot in the past few years. I live just on Sheridan Road for the past 20 plus years, just north in Edgewater a little bit. But who is not with me today is Liz DeBoni, who is our business banker, who also lives in the neighborhood, and her office is housed out of the Uptown office. She's a very experienced lender and has been lending in the neighborhood and all over in parts of the Chicagoland on the north side for a number of years with different organizations. Me personally, I joined Wintrust about 1.5 years ago, but I used to work for Brisky Bank for about 13 years. So my experiences of working in the Edgewater and Andersonville, as well as the Uptown neighborhoods, are very close and dear to me, working with small businesses throughout the years. And I'm glad to be here with Wintrust offering what is really a lot of conventional products that banks offer that have already been described. So I'm not going to go into the weeds very much because they are similar to what you've heard before. But I want to say that first of all, that we have worked closely with Somercor in the past, and as well as with the SBA as well. So with the SBA, Wintrust is not, if not the largest or the largest lender for SBA products in the state of Illinois, because that is where we reside. We are a Chicagoland-based bank, and also Milwaukee. But we know our neighborhoods, and we know our customers, and our mission is really to serve the communities, engage with our communities, and provide great customer excellence. We have some goals that we need to make, but that is really our primary focus. So we do have some of the conventional things we have. We have what we call an easy access term loan, which is up to $150,000, and also the revolving line of credit. Now, this is all for existing businesses, as well as some of them, for the revolving line of credit, we require a minimum of 2 years being in business. It is a fully underwritten loan, and it also includes a personal guarantee. We also have a business overdraft protection that we do offer. Again, we will look at anybody, no matter how small their request is or no matter how large their request is. We also, upon meeting with us and meeting with Liz and myself, we'll try to see what is the best type of program for you. And there are maybe a couple of other programs that you may qualify if you're an LMI district. So we'd be more than happy to take a look at that as well. Again, the SBA programs also is the express programs up to $350,000. The 7A loans, which is for real estate, working capital, equipment, inventory, or expansion and acquisition, like Kim had mentioned, and also the 504 loans, which must be greater than 50% owner occupied. Some other things when it comes down to being a small business, especially in our commercial lending area, anything can be tailor-made to exactly what your needs are, as long as our underwriting is comfortable with that. And so we can be very, very flexible on what we are able to do. Any type of construction loans that are going to be permanent, wow, I mistyped a little bit there. Sorry about that. Construction to permanent, commercial construction lending we do, non-owner occupied residential real estate, equipment lending, and working capital revolving lines of credit. Of course, in the past, in the past, this past year with COVID, the PPP loans were something that we energized around and trying to help our community. We reached out to even non-customers in the Uptown neighborhood to see if we could help them, and we did. We're able to do that with the PPP loans and actually hand walk them through those situations. We were one of the major lenders in PPP loans in the Chicagoland area. We energized 800 employees to work on that, to get through as many as possible. And we had a lot of a great success with helping what I believe is to be over 12,000 small businesses in the Chicagoland area. So we do whatever it takes to help out our neighborhood, our small businesses, because we genuinely find them fascinating to work with, and we want to find something that we can put you into that will work the best for you. So you can give us a start and we can go through things. If we need to engage Somercor, if we need to work with the SBA or any other types of alternative lines of financing. If we can't help you, we'll find a place that can help you in one fashion or another. Even like the micro lending was just like really fascinating to me as well. On a side note, we do have deposit products. If you happen to be a small business that has a very low transaction number and just one user on your online banking, we just have an entrepreneur checking, which is a no minimum balance and no monthly service charge. And with the debit card, the ATM, you can use it anywhere. We will refund all fees to you, no matter what. So just if you're looking at a way to save a little bit of money, take a look at your current checking accounts to see if that would be helpful. But we also have more enhanced checking accounts as well for heavier activity, as well as treasury management services, which is like doing remote capture, positive pay, of course, the full online banking experience with wires and so forth. So we have the full array of products for that, merchant services. And so just give us a shot, have a consultation. We've been doing a number of educational series, Liz and I have. We do them. I also do them for individuals, but we've been doing them for small businesses. We've done 3 this fall, and we plan on doing more. If you would ever like to get a group of people together, we'd be more than happy to sit down virtually, currently or in person after vaccine. The first vaccine was given to a lady in England today. She got the very first one. So that's coming, but we'd like to see you all in person at some point. So any questions or anything? I am Don Cortelyou with Wintrust Bank, and thank you, Greg and John, for letting me talk.
Absolutely, thank you, Don. Greg is showing the contact info on the screen right now, and I know that our executive director, Martin Sorge, has joined us and wanted to say a few words. Martin.
Good morning, everyone, and a big, huge thank you to all of our presenters for being here. It's good to see you all. It's been a while since I've seen a couple of you, so great to see you. Just a couple things I'd like to highlight. I think the pandemic has exposed this, but really your relationship with your banking and finance partner is so important. Some folks are hesitant to talk with their banker frequently, but especially all the folks in this virtual room, we know are great financial partners, folks who are good to talk to and build a relationship. So it's really important to have a financial relationship, but that doesn't also mean you need just one relationship. I think we've worked with small business clients who worked with each of you in the room here, and we know they've all had a great experience, and a lot of them have worked with more than one financial institution for different products. So it's important to have, all of your options there, whether it's working with Somercor and with a traditional bank, working with CNI and a traditional bank. You want to look at all your options because different organizations may have different options, and you might think they're competitive with each other, but a lot of them are used to working together to help put that, sometimes complicated financing package together for a small business like I know Kim highlighted in on tie. That was, there was a lot of pieces to get their awesome, delicious business up and running. So just want to highlight to everyone, work on getting a really good, strong business relationship and, talk to a bunch of financing organizations to see what different options are out there to meet your needs. So again, a huge thank you to presenters for taking their time and joining us today.
Thanks.
All right.
Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say, last call for questions. We got a little bit of time, and we can vamp. But if you have any questions, we did enable the Q&A feature, so feel free to submit anything that you would like us to discuss there. A few reminders: if you weren't able to either get a screenshot or write fast enough with all the contact info, as we mentioned, we're going to follow up with everyone, both with a list of all the speakers today, with their contact information. We are recording this, so it will live for all eternity, these wise words that we've heard today. So we will get that uploaded and share a link with all of our panelists, all of our guests. So if you know of anyone that would benefit from this information or wasn't able to join us today, you can easily share this webinar with them, and we'll get that to you. If not today, probably by the latest tomorrow. And John, anything else?
No, I don't have anything further. If there is anything that the panelists wanted to mention or highlight after hearing somebody mention a product, or I will say that we've been really happy to see the ability that working with these panelists has given our businesses like In on Tie and Hopleaf and Demera, and we've got 5 SPIF districts or TIF districts in Uptown, and that program has been heavily utilized and really has been a game changer. And all of the commercial banks too have been able to help businesses in situations that really made them figure out the situation. So if you're listening, or if you're finding this information later on, it's really worth a call, and you can check in with these people and they're going to be able to help. Panelists, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I was going to add one.
Go for it, Hunter.
Okay, all right. I was going to add one thing. So a couple points. One, all these different bankers and lenders on this panel are here to assist you. So build your, talk to different people, get comfortable, build relationships. I think that's one of the biggest things we learned from the PPP product was if you had relationships with your banker, it was a lot easier to get, that PPP money or process more quickly. But we're all here to help. At the end of the day, it's your small business, and we're here to assist you. And you're gonna have to make the decisions of who you want to work with, who offers the products that fit your business for right now. So I would say we're all here. We all work with each other. I know Somercor, we work with them on the SPIF. We work with CIBC. We work with Wintrust and Huntington. If we don't have deals that work perfectly with our program, we refer them off and say, hey, do you think you could help them? And we send deals to each other all the time. So this is a great network, and I think that's one of the keys for small businesses is build your network up, because it's hard being an entrepreneur and doing it all on your own. So we're here to help you in any way that we can.
Yeah, just to kind of iterate, Hunter, you kind of said what I wanted to say, so thank you. Just, take advantage of who you're working with and just working with your bank, and really find that person to talk about, especially if you're a startup entrepreneur. Say, what kind of resources do you have at the bank, or what partners do you have? Because again, all of us as the banks as well as the financial institutions have various partners that we do work with, such as Uptown Chamber and things like that. And I've worked with both Dick and Don's colleagues, both at Wintrust and Huntington, and of course works with Hunter and Kim's colleagues at Somercor. So we all work together. And I think if you get a really good relationship manager, and that's what my esteemed colleagues here are, is really want to work with you as a small business and really be that relationship manager to help you along and grow your business. Another thing, what you said is just, take advantage of the different resources that places like Uptown Chamber and other entities have. As a business owner, you don't have to go about it your own, right? take advantage of resources that are out there, and a lot of them are free, you know, to just see what's out there to kind of help you if you're starting your business or looking to get your business to the next level and things like that. So thanks, guys.
Thank you. With no further comments, I think that we can say thank you. Thank you, panelists. Thank you for the time and the experience you've lent us. Greg?
Yeah, I'll just do one last plug for our events. You might have, 'tis the season where I'm sending out a bunch of emails with various things that we're doing throughout the month of December. We have an exciting virtual event happening this Thursday at 7 p.m. We're starting a series called Ask an Expert, and first up is our local vet clinic, Magnolia Veterinary Clinic in Wilson and Magnolia. So we have a vet available for an hour for all your general pet, cat, dog questions. It's called The Tooth About Cats and Dogs because we're focusing on oral care, but there will also be a general Q&A. So we'll send that out with our follow-up email to this. That's this Thursday at 7 on Zoom. And then for the whole month of December, we are running a Shop Local campaign called Winter Warmth in Uptown, encouraging everyone to support our local Uptown businesses, which is obviously very important. So we have all kinds of contests and giveaways and themes. Right now, the theme is Warm Up Wilson, kind of in honor of our Winter Walk on Wilson event that we traditionally do this time of year, but weren't able to do this year. So Wilson businesses, and really any business in Uptown throughout the month of December, can reward your customers with giveaways that we're offering. So you get all the credit, and we just try to help out with giving a little something away. So that can be found on our website, exploreuptown.org/winterwarmth. And I think that's it for our events. Again, thank you to our panelists. Thank you to everyone who joined us on the webinar today, and we'll be in touch soon.
Uptown proud.
Uptown proud. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.